Bandidos Division 2 live with Tux, and it's Sunday night. Before we get started, before we jump into the topic of the day, let's make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. So if somebody out there in chat can give me a hashtag TuxLive, that'll let me know that you guys are hearing me. Appreciate that. So let's do that real quick. Otherwise, dig in, put your feet up, enjoy the background music as we get you into the vibe. I got a really good build to show you guys today. We're gonna jump right into the gameplay. And I'm gonna walk you through the build, and I will be showing the build multiple times. Anyways, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, somebody out there, give me a hashtag TuxLive in the chat feed if you can hear me loud and clear. There we go, there we go. Thanks, Tony Fights and Typhoon. Welcome back, Latina, appreciate you. Con, hi, brother, what's up? Welcome to the stream, Steven Johnson, appreciate that. All right, so it sounds like I am coming in loud and clear. Cool, and I will turn on the music in just a minute once we get the vibe juicing through our veins. And so today I do have a new AR build for you. Yesterday we did the Bighorn build, and today we're going to do a build around the Rail Splitter. So the Rail Splitter is the name CTAR. It's got a pretty decent base weapon damage, but look at those RPMs. The base RPM on this bad boy is 900 RPM. We've boosted it with 3 pieces of striker to push it over 1,000, so 1,035. It's got 50 in the mag with the mods. And it gives us perfect accurate, which is 50% more accuracy, and I put on 2 more accuracy mods. So this weapon is giving us 70% accuracy. I got damage to targets out of cover for multiplicative damage, and of course it gives us 21% health damage. It's got a 1.8 second reload time. As you can see, the stability stats are way up as well. This weapon doesn't need much stability rolled in because it's actually pretty dang stable. So beautiful weapon. We'll talk more about it along the way. My first piece of striker is the gloves. That's going to give us 15% more weapon handling on top of what you just saw, plus 15% rate of fire. And I have crit damage and weapon damage, and basically crits rolled on everything. Weapon damage and crits, as you can see. All right, so 3 pieces of striker, weapon damage, and crits. And for the mask, I'm running the Coyote's mask, which is giving us another boost. It allows me to not have to run as much crit chance on the build, because we're going to be playing from 15 to 25. We play from 0 to 25 meters most of the time. So we're going to get that 10% crit hit chance boost as well as crit hit damage. Now, the big surprise for you today is the Devil's Due named backpack. We'll talk more about this along the way, but it comes with perfect clutch. And I have max crits rolled on it, crit damage mod, and I rolled armor on it, so we have at least 1 armor core. That's a very comfortable place for me to run. But perfect clutch basically is like armor on kill. Very, very underused, undervalued talent. And I'm gonna show you why it's a damn good idea to run on an assault rifle build like this one. And I'll tell you why. But basically how it's gonna work, it's in 2 stages, right? So, there's 2 parts to this that you need to understand. And so it's not one big dealio here. There are 2 separate parts to this talent. So the first part is that if you're below 20% armor, crit hits repair 2.5% missing armor until you back up to 20%. All right? And so that's why you want to run a weapon. When you run clutch, you want to run a weapon with high RPMs. All right. And then the second part of the talent is once you get a kill, you can repair up to 100% of your armor, basically once, through crits. So you have 4 to 10 seconds. So you get a kill, and basically as long as you're critting on somebody, you're healing yourself. You can heal yourself up to 100% armor, depending on how many red weapon damage cores. And so this build had so much damage on it that I thought it'd be really cool to showcase clutch for some armor on kill. And the reason why it's a good idea to run clutch instead of like 2-piece Bellstone is because it's more efficient. It basically frees up space in my build, because on Bellstone, with Bellstone you have to run 2 pieces to get that 10% armor on kill. Or if you ran the Death Grips, you get that wasted attribute that is health. Now with this, it allows me to basically only use 1 slot for 100% armor on kill, as long as you're critting. And then I'm running Gunner, which is also giving me 10% armor on kill. And so what's helping me, I'm running the Sacrifice with crits all the way throughout, which has perfect glass cannon. And you're gonna see that this is an awesome awesome chest piece to run with this build. I am basically running and gunning with this thing, and my time to kill is so freaking fast that Perfect Glass Cannon is really contributing to that. So anyways, you do want to run Gunner because of the 3-piece striker, basically we're burning through ammo. So you want the Gunner specialization to help you out with that. Also for the 10% armor on kill, and we're also getting 10% more weapon handling when we're standing still, which I'm not doing very often, but it does help. As far as crits, we're at 48%. That's a good place to be because the Coyote's mask is gonna fill in the rest. So we're basically playing between 50 and 60%. And then we have 140% crit damage there, but again, the Coyote's mask is gonna boost that up to basically 165%, depending on where the enemy is that we are shooting. But what I really want you to notice here, this is all about that accuracy stat. So we have 95% accuracy built into this build with 25% stability. And again, when we're standing still, we're gonna be at 105% accuracy because of Gunner. So, and we got about 15% weapon handling, which is coming from the striker set. All right, so on the defense side of things, we got just under 1 million in armor. We got 10% armor on kill, but we have 100% armor on kill thanks to Clutch, and you will see that working in action. We're gonna talk about Clutch a lot today. We're also gonna be talking about Rail Splitter, and then again, more discussions on weapon handling and time to kill and how important it is. So that's basically what this build is. It's amped up in all areas: the RPM, the time to kill, and the heals. And so you're gonna be seeing that we're gonna be running basically a full armor all the time, and I barely have any armor. I only have 1 armor core. I only have 10% true armor on kill, and then the rest is gonna be managed by Clutch, but we're gonna be in a real healthy place. All right, let's see who is in the chat. So what's up, chat? Thanks, guys. So as the gameplay is going, I'll be bouncing back and forth between the build talks discussion as well as getting to your comments. As you can see, I have 122 stars. I am farming stars, so I do have the reanimated event on. And so this week, you guys have probably noticed I've been showcasing headshot builds, and that's why I wanted to showcase this assault rifle build, because it really laser beams in on the head. And if we can kill them with a headshot, then they won't reanimate. We're also getting more XP from headshot kills, thus more red stars. So I'm not gonna be running directives like I was in the last few days. It's not super fun to run directives with assault rifle builds. I do add them on a little bit later, but for now, for efficiency, I wanted to make sure you guys can see how this build performs without directives. And that special ammo and armor break can really slow you down. So no directives today. So anyways, let's get it started. We basically just deleted that whole group of NPCs with that explosion, which was kind of nice. So we got a challenge completed right away. Let me turn up the gameplay a little bit too, so you can hear this rumbling going on in the background. What's up, Base Connor? Welcome, brother. Appreciate you hitting me up at the Tux Live. Q Mosley, glad you made it. Antonio D'Agostino, welcome to the stream. Gustavo Sotelo, appreciate you, man. Joaquin Montoya, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Tony, and Steven Johnson, appreciate you guys. Typhoon again, of course. So the Rail Splitter. Okay, so the Rail Splitter again, it's the name CTAR. So one of the reasons why I'm using the Rail Splitter and the Devil's Due backpack is because it's sort of related to the event. It's just like the Brain Slushy build that I did a couple of days ago. So if you guys don't know, or if you haven't been farming this event, you should be, because basically this is a way that you can get all the Dark Zone gear that you can dream of without actually going into the Dark Zone. And there's some really good gear, named item, Dark Zone exclusive gear that comes out of there. Things like the Death Grips, Emperor's knee pads, Emperor's Guard knee pads, the Gift backpack, the Rail Splitter, the Virginian, the Devil's Due backpack, all these things and more, okay? And so I've gotten these things from fighting in the DZ, but the quality has always been kind of really on the so-so side of things. But the named item caches return really good quality. And I've put out videos for you guys to demonstrate the quality. And it basically averages about the 75 percentile, meaning you can get at least 3/4 rolls off of most of the things that you pull out of named item caches, all right? So that's why, even if you're a DZ player, even if you love the Dark Zone or Conflict, that it's still worth doing these events because you're probably going to get better drops and you're not going to get robbed versus farming this stuff in the DZ. So keep that in mind. So I'm farming the reanimated event, so I'm playing the hell out of it, and the best way to farm it is to really get a lot of XP, and so that we can collect these stars, and then I'll walk you through this, but basically I'm gonna be spending these stars on named item caches so that I can get more Dark Zone exclusive gear variations, because I basically pretty much have everything. So that's why I'm running the Rail Splitters, because it's a Dark Zone exclusive assault rifle. You can only get this from the Dark Zone. The only way to get it out of the Dark Zone is by purchasing it from maybe a Dark Zone vendor who happens to have it for sale. Otherwise, you're gonna be getting it from the named item caches. And that's how I got mine. I've gotten probably maybe 4 or 5 of these since I've played the game, of different quality, but my best God Roll one, which I'm running right here, is triple God Roll, as you saw, I actually got from a named item cache, just like my triple God Roll Virginian I got from a named item cache. So, and this is an amazing assault rifle. Anybody who uses it basically falls in love with it, so you know. If you haven't had a chance to run it, you need to get your hands on this bad boy. So that's why we're running it, is because it's showing you something that you can get out of the named item caches that this event is going to dish out for you. Okay, and so same thing for the backpack. So besides that, they're good things. The backpack is the Devil's Due, which is a named Cheska backpack that is also only a Dark Zone exclusive item, named item. And so you can only get that from the Dark Zone. Again, you can also get it from named item caches, which you can achieve by farming this event. You can purchase as many as you like, as many based on how many red stars you have. And a named item cache is 8 red stars is how much it costs you. You also get a couple of them in the rewards track for the event itself too. So you get 2 freebies there just by playing the event. All right. So Devil's Due is the named Cheska with perfect clutch. That basically, the difference between the perfect and non-perfect version is that it gives you, you can start boosting your armor up when you're below 20%, and the named version requires that you be all the way down to 15% armor before you can start boosting it up. All right, and we're gonna be talking more about this backpack because a lot of people aren't big fans of this backpack. One, because it used to be glitched back in the day, but the devs did fix it a couple of title updates ago. Also because I don't think many people understand it, because it's actually 2 parts, and I think a lot of people, when they read it, they think it's 1 part, you know, just one big confusing jumble of of text there for the talent. And so we're going to clarify that for you. But in the meantime, between now and then, just pay attention to my armor, pay attention to when my armor drops and how fast it comes back. That is, I don't want to say it's all clutch, but it's mostly clutch. Remember, I only have 10% armor on kill. I have no armor regen. I have no other armor on kill. I have no repair. Well, I am running a repair drone, so it's a little bit of that too. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Let's see, Devil Due is DZ exclusive. That's right, Steven Johnson, it is DZ exclusive. You probably just heard me say that. Q Mosley asks, hey bro, quick question. Your striker skill build, would it work as good with the Pestilence with the addition of the Plague of the Outcast? Yeah. I mean, it would. You can be trading this for that, right? I think the good news for that build would, well, I mean, your Plague of the Outcast would be an addition, but it would be relatively weak, right? Because Plague of the Outcast relies on raw weapon damage, and the hybrid skill build with Striker uses skill tiers, so you're basically going to have only 1 red core for that Plague of the Outcast, so it'll be there, but it'll just be really weak. And then also you will be losing the buffs to that are coming off of your weapon, so whether you're using the capacitor or the test subject with perfect in sync, so your skills are also going to get weaker. Yeah, so I don't know, I wouldn't do that. I think you would either probably go with a Striker build, but I just think that mixing them out, it would weaken. The Plague of the Outcast would be weak, and then your skills would be weakened as well. So you could see, I could see you putting yourself in a position where you get overrun, and you wouldn't be able to protect yourself because you don't have anything that has a strong enough burst damage to get you out of it. But on the positive side, you would at least have these skills as really good decoys with really good uptime on those skills to help distract enemies so that you can put out more Plague of the Outcast. So that would be the positive side of it. But ultimately, you're just gonna have to do it and see how it feels. But I will tell you, your skills are gonna get weaker, and the Plague of the Outcast will be about as weak as it could possibly be. And the only way to circumvent that would be to build in some things that give you some more weapon damage on kill. Something like Unstoppable or Spark on the chest, those things, so that your skills are at least powering Plague of the Outcast. So things to think about, but good, really good question, really good question. But yeah, so ultimately you're just gonna have to try it out and see how it feels. You're probably playing Legendary and group mostly, so in that situation you'll probably be okay to run that. And then from there, I think it's gonna be whether you're happy with the time to kill or not. Douglas Brand, welcome, welcome, welcome. Con says my RNG sucks. All I get from named item caches is freaking Baker's dozen and everyday carriers. I hear you, Con, man. I hear you. I have those days too, and that's why actually for me, and part of it is for motivation purposes. I run when I run these events, like I'm actually shooting for, and I'll be showing my progress along the way, but I'm shooting for 160 red stars. Okay, so that's my goal for this event. I'm almost there as we speak. So, and that way I can buy 20 named item caches all at and then open them all at the same time. So part of me doing that is because I'm tracking the quality of these named item caches for you guys and for myself. And also I can keep track of how many repeats I'm getting, how many duplicates I'm getting, and then how many named item caches I'm getting versus regular named items, open world named items. And my record, or the average, tends to be about 60%. So 6 out of 10 things tend to be Dark Zone exclusive. Not that they're not junk, because some things I already have, of course, so it doesn't mean I keep all those things, but at least I know that I have a good chance of getting named item things out of those. But inevitably, you know, when I open 20 named item caches, I'm probably getting like 2 things I'm really excited about and that are worth keeping. Now that's saying something because I have everything. I have everything. But ooh, I just got slaughtered right there. But that was a bad move. I should have held my ground. But yeah, so I have everything. So that's saying something. If I'm keeping 2 things, I mean those are really good numbers. Edward Burris asks, what's better, named cache or legacy cache? Really good question. Really good question. Now for me, I like named item caches because those named item things like Matador, right? The backpack, Virginian, Rail Splitter. I mean, there's so many things that come out of the Dark Zone. The Gift. What's the one? The Ferocious Calm. There's so many pieces there, but the Hollow Man. Now for me, so you know, I'm looking for, there's a few pieces I can never have enough of, and that's like the Empress Guard knee pads. Like I like to have multiple variations of those. There's also Claws Out, right, which is kind of a fun piece to run for shield builds. And then the other one is the Death Grips. Like I can never have enough variations of the Death Grips. I have a few of them, but I'm looking right now for one that has crit chance and crit damage already on it, so I can roll the armor into a weapon damage core. But I did, on the last series of ones that I got one with skill damage on it, and then I rolled the armor core into a skill tier. And so it works really well with skill tiers. And of course your skills can get that 10% armor kill. Look at this kill. Boom. And if you guys just noticed, my armor was down a few seconds ago. And so that clutch is bringing me up. It's maintaining me. So, but look at that time to kill. That's amazing. So let's see how my armor gets back up here. If I can get this up. Oh, we got a boss. So my armor just went way back up. But those green clouds do heal you a little bit. So But watch that. So I'm critting on that machine right there. You see that? So I'm critting on that machine. So clutch just put me up to 20% again. So that's what that's clutch right there. So I was almost dead. And then everything I killed from there, anything that's critting right now is healing me. So watch my heals. Watch my heals. 100%. You see that, guys? I was just at 0. That's clutch. It's actually pretty amazing. As long as you're critting, you're healing, right? So get a kill and then crit, and you can heal yourself all the way to 100%, right? And so I'm doing all of this, and I'm not invincible. Remember, I'm running the sacrifice, perfect glass cannon. So I got amplified inbound damage headed my way, right? So, but I'm still able to get out of cover a pretty decent amount of time, you know, but you don't want to run crazy. You don't want to get shot in the back from a guy across the field, because again, you can't take too much burst damage. So, but this, yeah, this build fucking shreds. You gotta try it, guys. You gotta try this build. Even if you don't have this, this named CTAR, you know, just try to run something comparable. You can, you could run a non-named. This was the rail splitter, but you could run the CTAR and then put something on there that gives you more accuracy, or just mod it out throughout your build, whatever you need to do. You could also probably reverse it, so you can run strained or something like that on your gun, and then put more weapon handling throughout your build to make the difference up. That makes sense. But 50% accuracy is a big boost. I'm laser. This is a laser beam, and we're at 1,035 RPM. So we have the RPMs of a vector with the optimal range and handling of an assault rifle. And again, the stability, the base stability on this weapon is where it needs to be. You don't need to add any stability. This is basically no kick. But the accuracy boost just allows you to laser in on heads and pop them. And you know we're popping heads by that green smoke. That tells you that we're popping heads. So there's many clouds of smoke. I'll tell you that. Many clouds of smoke. Look at that. You see that? So that's 2 headshot kills in a row. And that looked like a headshot kill, but apparently it wasn't. But just double tap. Don't forget to do your double taps with these zombies. So if you guys don't know, if you're new to this event, if you don't get a headshot kill, then they will reanimate into basically a second life, or a zombie, if you will. I didn't see that guy on my right, so that's a problem. So I am using the decoy. That helps me get out of cover. The decoy is sort of like a shield that way. So I just killed that boss at range like nothing. He was pretty much made out of butter. Yeah. So yeah, this gun is a hot knife through butter. It's a good way to describe it. So shoots laser beams, folks. And Striker's really helping us out there. On top of it, it just sort of makes it OP on the handling department, but basically everything, because also the RPM, right? So just boost the RPMs. Remember, RPMs are a multiplicative stat, so that's more DPS. And then we also have perfect glass cannon, and that extra amplified damage it gives you is more DPS. So I think as far as crit damage, we're going between basically 140 and 165% crit damage, depending on where the enemy is in relation to us. And that's not a lot. But the time to kill doesn't get any faster than this, right? And remember, I'm running a defensive talent on my backpack. If I was running concussion like I did yesterday with the Bighorn build, so Bighorn build that I used yesterday was running concussion. If I was using that, I mean, it would be killing even faster, but I think I got to the point where it's killing so fast, I don't know if I'd be able to notice the improvement in kill time if I added more offense on my backpack. So here's another quick look at the build. Again, the CTAR, the name CTAR, the rail splitter, you can only get this in the dark zone, but notice the mods here. I got 1 crit chance and 2 accuracy mods for a total of 70% accuracy just coming off the gun. And then I'm running this 3-piece striker, which is giving me 15% more handling. So that's another 15% to the accuracy side. So, and then the rest is coming from my watch, ultimately. So that puts us at 95% weapon accuracy. And then when we're standing still, gunner is giving us another 10%, right? So there's clutch. So as you can see, I stayed alive. I stayed on my feet. I think I only went down once, and that was user error. But ultimately, clutch is keeping us alive. It does a really good job. But there is a caveat to it, to clutch. You needs to be well, first of all, you need to have high crits. You need to be maxed out on your crits. And the second caveat is you need to have a high RPM, okay? So healing is based on crits. So the faster you get those crits out, the faster you heal. So if you want to heal fast, if you want to notice clutch working for you, then you need to have a weapon with a higher RPM. So I don't recommend anything below 800 RPMs for this weapon. I mean, for that backpack talent, you need to have something that's over 800 RPM. So the Vector works great for this. The CTARs work great. The Police M4 works great. Anything much slower than that, I wouldn't really run it with it. And so I think those people that have tried clutch and didn't like it are probably using weapons that don't synergize with the talent really well. So again, a high crits, max crits, and high RPM. The third thing is you need to land those shots. So if you're running something like the P416 or something like that, right? The or I don't know, the Eagle Bearer. Okay, so the Eagle Bearer is like, you know, kind of a beast. I know it's supposed to have improved accuracy as you shoot over time, but I hardly notice that. But it just, anyways, my point is, if you're running a weapon that tends to miss a lot of its shots, you know, it's like a heavy hitter, but it misses a lot, then clutch isn't going to work out for you, right? Because you need to land your shots on top of that. You need to land your shots. So let's erase these fools real fast just to show you what this thing can do. Boom. I mean, nothing. I mean, if it's a non-elite, let's just clear this tank. Watch this tank, right? Almost one clip it. Almost one clip that tank. That's, you guys, that right there would have been 145% crit damage. So, you know, that heavy was nothing to this AR. So, really powerful. And this is not 200% crit damage. You don't need 200% crit damage to be powerful, to rip heads off, right? You need multiplicative stacking. You need things that synergize. You need synergies, right? And synergies can create amazing time to kill with relatively low crit damage. I mean, 140 to 165% crit damage is on the lower side of recommended crit damage builds. But we got amplified damage on top of that, right? With Perfect Glass Cannon. And we got the RPMs amping that up as well. And that's why this build is called Amped, because RPMs amp things up as well. Now, it's not amplified damage. I mean, amped as in like multiplies your damage, amps up your DPS. You're basically amped up on Mountain Dew. Think about it that way. Think about like you're a soldier and you're going out to battle, and right before you do, you drink a shit ton of Mountain Dew. That's basically what this build is. It's all jacked up on Mountain Dew. It's Talladega Nights, if you don't remember that scene. Let's see what chat says. Black John Wick is the same Bighorn build you're running? No. I altered this. Yeah. So yesterday, you guys, if you didn't see the stream yesterday, I featured the Bighorn build, and I happened to have the CTAR as a second weapon, and I used it for one control point as a demonstration, and that inspired me to do this build. But I did tailor this build around the CTAR. So yesterday we were running the Bighorn. We were running 3 pieces of Striker. That's true. So it's similar that way, but we also had weapon handling on top of that. And then we were running Concussion, and we weren't running Glass Cannon. We were running Obliterate. So a lot of things changed. But in the end, you know what's crazy, Black John Wick, is that this CTAR build is stronger than the Bighorn build. Hands down. Okay? The Bighorn build had 130% headshot damage, with Obliterate and Concussion, which was giving it 50% weapon damage. Right? No downside. There was no Glass Cannon, so no downside from Glass Cannon. And it was running 3-piece Striker, and we had to roll in a bunch of weapon handling because there's so much. The difference is that the Bighorn requires so much stability to be added on in order to really make it a usable weapon. You know, that takes away from the build, right? And also, you're just missing more of your shots. The real reason why this build is stronger, I'm just gonna say it, is the fact that I'm landing more shots in a faster amount of time. So the Bighorn is running 3 pieces of Striker. I think the Bighorn, what's the base RPMs on the Bighorn? It's like 800, isn't it? Or 700 or something like that. So this is at 1,035. Whatever the actual spread is a difference enough to call it. We're talking like 350, 300 RPM spread. between the two weapons, something like that, you know, as low as 250 RPM spread, but it's enough to call it and to say that this is the better build. This is probably the better weapon. Oh, I don't see that boss right there. There's a boss right there. That's bad. Bad news. Bad news. And he's a heavy boss too. Anyways, this build is way stronger. It is the, like, if I had to pick between the Bighorn build and this Rail Splitter Centaur build, I would go this one. On paper, the Rail Splitter looks weaker, but that RPM difference, it makes a big difference. So I hope you guys understand that, right? Like the RPMs and accuracy. Think about what a crit is worth, right? What is a crit worth to you? You know, 350 to a million, depending on your build, right? So if you're landing, let's just say 10% more of your shots. So, right? So if you're normally a 40% accuracy player and a build like this makes you a 50% accuracy player, probably higher, probably like 55% accuracy player. But let's just say 50%. So if you're landing 10% more of your shots, and then 60% of those shots are crits, right? What does that come out to, right? So let's just say 6 at, let's call it, you know, let's do an average, 400,000, right? So 6 times 4, that's 2.5 million in DPS. And you got to remember, your RPM is so fast. That's 2.5 million in a split second. You're putting that out in a split second. And that's why this build is stronger. Does that math make sense to you? You guys get me there? You get me there? You? Hello? 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 Welcome, Zerther. Welcome, brother, to the stream. I also felt like I wasted my stars on exotics since I got duplicates. Named item caches are indeed the way to go. I was gonna say that. Okay, I'm gonna head over there in a little bit. I'm gonna head over to the White House and we're gonna talk about that thing. But yeah, do not buy named item caches with your stars. It's really expensive if you look at it that way. A red star is equal to a level up, right? Just think about it that way. And so an exotic cache is 20 red stars, which is equal to 20 levels. That's a day's work, brother. That's a full day's work. So do not spend your red stars on named item caches. And so there's an order of importance, but for me, the named item caches are the best. And then somebody asked earlier, sorry, I didn't finish that question, but legacy caches are second best. That's what I would go for if I didn't love my named item caches so much. So legacy caches will give you also system corruption gear, which is really valuable gear. I like to run 2-piece system corruption on a lot of builds for that 15% armor on kill, which is a really nice way to get it. And so you can get that from legacy caches, but you can also get other named items like the Dark Winter. I'm drawing blanks on other named things. Oh, the TDI card can come out of those too, which are both Dark Zone exclusive weapons also, but they used to be part of season rewards tracks. And that's what season caches are, guys. So anything that you got off of a season reward track, you can get from a season cache. The problem is that there's a lot of seasons and there were a lot of things that were part of those reward tracks that were not named items. So you'll also be getting stuff like Hunter's Fury gear pieces. And you're like, oh, you can get that easily in the open world. So the numbers are a little bit against you there, stat-wise. So that's why I don't name those, get those. But if you have everything and you're really after things like system corruption gear, or you really want that Dark Winter, I mean, you do have a chance to get it off those as well. But if it's a named item, go for named item caches. I think they're the strongest way, and they're cheaper. I think legacy caches are 12, and named item caches are 8. If I'm getting my numbers right, I think that's right. And then we'll see that in a minute, though. I'll head over to the White House. And then third, probably from there, probably optimization caches would be the third best way to spend your red stars, because those are really valuable resources that those give you. But if you already have some of those, you could also be wasting your red stars. But if you play the game, you can get your optimization resources just by leveling up also. It's helpful to have more than one character. So I just ran out of ammo there, so be careful there. Also, just realize I'm running out of ammo. I really don't think this build would run out of ammo, so if I wasn't playing this event. So reanimated event actually brings guys alive, so there's more. Just realize there's more. I'm having to kill more enemies than what's naturally in the game. So that's why I ran out of ammo there. See, in the mission, and I only ran out of ammo for one NPC. So the ammo's on par. So you're good as long as you're running gunner, okay? So, but you have to run gunner. Plus, you're gonna get the 10% armor on kill. So, Soul Killer, welcome to the stream. Welcome, Jay Google. Oh, I like your name, Jay Google. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Let's make sure I didn't miss any comments. There's quite a few here. Dubsta. Hey, bro. What's going on, Dubs? See that? Yeah, the Orbit is good. Yeah, I'm running the Orbit actually as my pistol in this build. It's sort of my default pistol. It's either that or going to be the TDI card. I don't run the TDI card a lot, and that's mostly for you guys because it makes it look like I have an extra skill tier on the build when I don't, when I'm showing off the build. So I usually do it just to avoid that confusion. But the TDI card is a really good pistol to run, and running it with Reformation is actually really good. So Reformation gives you 30% more skill repair just by landing a headshot. You don't have to get a kill or anything. So if you get in a pickle and you got a reviver drone, a fixer drone, I mean, just, you know, put on your TDI card and you can get at least 20% more repairs just for having that skill tier. And then you just, you know, poke somebody in the head with your pistol, and all of a sudden you got now 50% more repair skills for your little drone. So it gets you back on your feet and into the fight, right? So that's what you're looking for. So you're looking for it. Again, it's not how much armor you have, it's how fast you recover. That's the name of this game, guys. Because you can put on a shit ton of armor and they're just gonna take it off. Anyways, yeah, so that was a really good run. And again, that was clutch. That's keeping me on my feet. So let's run the Capitol building and then we'll head out over to the White House real quick and take a peek at the seasoned vendor. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, buddy. Appreciate that. Antonio, welcome to the stream. If I didn't holler at you earlier. Jay Wilsey. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you for saying that. Yeah, so Jay Wilsey reminds everyone to please like the video now before you forget. I really appreciate that, guys. That is while coming to the streams, checking it out, watching my videos to the end, commenting, hitting like, and subscribing are all great ways to support my channel. And also, if you didn't know, I do classified builds, which are secret builds made just for Tux's Players Club, true and hardcore Bandido member levels. These are extra builds I make as a thank you for supporting me. So these are extra builds for supporting me and the channel, and therefore the entire community, because that's what I do. I build and support the community. So if you want to tap into these secret builds, you can get access today by making sure you're at least a true Bandido member level by clicking that join button just below the video. So everybody you see in the feed and the chat that has a little school icon next to them, these are all members of Tux's Players Club. So, oh, that reminds me, I wanted to do a special shout out to Brian Elliott for joining. He joined Tux's Players Club just before the stream started. Brian Elliott, shout out, thank you, brother. Tuxational supporter, appreciate you, man. And so if you're on the stream still, hopefully you get that message, so welcome. So for those of you that are part of Tux's Players Club, if you didn't know, I do have a members only playlist on my channel that you should be accessing. And I'll actually throw out a link on Monday to make sure you guys have easy access to that. So save that in your bookmarks bar. But all those secret builds, I save them there. And also for members exclusive, members only streams, I save them there as well, so you can check those out. But so remember, if you're joining today, there is a whole library of secret builds that you can tap into, and they're all saved on that members playlist, so you can definitely check them out whenever you get a chance. And yeah, so appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support. What up, Gripple? Welcome back, brother. Did I say that wrong, Steven Johnson? Did I say something wrong? Yeah, but I did say do not buy exotic caches. I might have said something different on accident, but yeah, do not buy exotic caches. Anthony Castillo, welcome to Tux's Players Club. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. You rock. Brothers in arms. Yeah, guys, you know, what I hope to do is inspire you, educate you, and entertain you. You know, so that's what I hope to deliver. Those are my 3 pillars. And if I'm not doing that, then hit me in the back of my head with the Sucker Punch build and set me straight. But that's the promise that I hope to deliver. We got, just a few more months until that new content hits, and I think that'll drive a lot more excitement back into the community. But every day we get new players, so this game is still growing, believe it or not. Just not at the rate that it used to be. But I think when we get closer to February, I think now's the time to be coming back to the game, in my opinion, because you want to build your character up in your library of resources, so that when that new content and that new season drops, then you're sort of ready to enjoy it, right? With a strong character. So, CJ Sal's, good evening, brother. Welcome. Also, let me know if you guys haven't already, and what part of the world you hail from. I love to. I appreciate a very international and diverse community. I support that. Also on my Discord. So if you guys aren't already part of my Discord, you should be. It is free. It doesn't cost you anything, and our Discord is thriving. A lot of really strong community peeps on the Discord, leading great conversations about builds. If you're a build connoisseur, then you are required to go to my Discord, because that's a good place to talk builds. We've got a couple channels dedicated just to that. Also, if you're looking to get associated with some clans, we can now have clans on all 3 platforms, multiple clans on some platforms. And so if you want to join Tux's clans, head over there. And if you're a solo player, I think it's time that you guys get associated so that we can get you through those raids, get you those raid exclusive exotics. So that way you can create all my builds, because I love my Regulus. I'm gonna be honest, I love my Regulus, and I don't use it a lot. I don't create a lot of builds for it because I know a lot of players don't have that weapon, and so I don't want to leave you out. But it is a really good weapon. Oh, there's a guy right behind me. I didn't see him there. Shoot. Brandon, welcome. Welcome if you're just joining us. You actually have the same build, but with the Bullet King. Are you using, Brandon, Clutch? Is that how close you got it? Because I'm also featuring Clutch, because I wanted to, because it's actually a really good talent, and a lot of people don't realize how awesome it is. And so if you like armor on kill, you like Clutch, that's basically what it is. The first part of the talent is helpful, where, you can repair 20% of your armor if you're below that. That's helpful. But the real strength of the talent is the second part, which is you get a kill, and then you have up to 10 seconds to refill your armor to 100% as long as you're critting on somebody. So that's why Striker's kind of nice, because you shove a lot of crits down an enemy's face as fast as possible, which means with this really high RPM over 1,000, and so you're gonna heal yourself really fast. Yeah, and you can crit off of a piece of equipment, or you can crit off of an enemy. It doesn't have to be just an enemy. It can be a tank, it can be a turret or a drone, but and so as long as you're getting the jump on the enemy, you can get out of cover with this build. But if you're not good at getting the jump on the enemy, then you should probably be playing a little bit more from cover than I am. But I just can't hold still. I'm really bad at holding still. So ants in my pants, players. Let's see. I know I missed a couple of comments here. Soul Killer, yo, sup Tux, he says. Sup chat, Soul Killer, percents are watching, getting in those thumbs ups. Soul Killer, 55%, nice. Biko, welcome brother, welcome back. I hope you like this build, guys. I'm showing the build Biko multiple times, so if you missed it earlier on the feed, then I will be showing it several more times before the end of the video. So I make sure I get you guys good looks at these things. Gripball, so glad to make your stream. Have to work. I'm close to getting my Game Over Part 2 together. Oh, good for you. Really good build. One of my favorites. And he says, pretty close to the chest piece. Keep the builds coming, brother. You got it. That's what I do. I can't help it. Every day I come up with a new build just because I'm out there having fun. Farming the hell out of this event too. So I've been looking forward to this event for like 6-7 weeks since the season started. I actually like this event better than Golden Bullet. I like that it, sort of gives you an incentive for going for headshot kills. And if you guys saw my build 2 days ago, the one that says highest DPS, one tapping bosses, we were literally one tapping bosses with my Mantis build, and it was just insane. Shooting at 50 million, 59 million. I'm taking out bosses left and right with a single bullet. And we were, I gotta say, there's gotta be nothing faster than a really good sniper build as far as clearing control points goes. One bullet, one kill. And I was basically running no armor. I had one armor core. And it's just that you're so lethal and so efficient at killing, you don't hardly take any damage. I was seeing, hey, there was an interesting a glitch I realized on my, when I was streaming my Mantis build the other day. It showed that I only had 500,000 in armor. And the reality is I had like 900,000 in armor, but on the stats board, it was glitching to 500,000. It's not even possible to have 500,000 in armor. This game has had a lot of glitches. Yesterday, it was showing a glitch on the headshots at -5% headshot percentage when I had 140% headshot damage. So, Drunk Demon. Oh, I like your name, Drunk. Drunk Demon. Yo, Tux, love the videos. Thanks, bro. You bet, man. That's what I do. I love making these for you guys. Try to keep you energized. Keep us together. Band of brothers, right? MJ, Tux, thanks to you and the team for getting the Xbox clan going. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. MJ, did you join the clan? Yeah, if you haven't, you should. But yeah, I'm excited to play with the new Tux Xbox clan. I got to get everybody added to my friend list so we can run together. Looking forward to that. So I'll get that all worked out over the next week. As soon as I get through this event, at least. Zerther, I just started in October and the journey feels great. Oh, awesome. So are you back in DC, Zerther? Did you get the expansion? If you didn't, it's worth it. The New York expansion is worth it. So. Adrian Thompson, what build is this? Yeah, this is basically a rail splitter clutch build. So I'm running the rail splitter. You'll see the build here, but the rail splitter with 3 pieces of striker, crits rolled on everything. Then I have clutch, perfect clutch on my backpack, which is it's called the Devil's Dude backpack. It's a named Cheska backpack. I'll give you, make sure you have another full glimpse of the build before we head out. But it's an assault rifle build with a really, really, really fast time to kill. And it basically, the highlight I want to say, besides the fast time to kill, is really, what's really adding to that is the 95 to 105% accuracy. So this build has a base accuracy of 95% on it. So 95% accuracy. And so that sounds crazy to people because we're always kind of speccing into crits and damage and whatever. But the accuracy, the point of accuracy is that if you have crits or amp damage or whatever, if you're missing your shots, then you're missing out on a lot of damage. So accuracy improves your DPS. You got to realize that. And the other thing that's improving our DPS is our RPMs. So we got a boost in our RPMs. We've got the CTAR's base at 900, and then we're running 3-piece striker, so we're at 1,035 RPM. So we're getting more crits, amplified crit damage, more of those landed in a shorter amount of time, so our time to kill goes up. And so it looks like, I would say it's comparable to something like 240% crit damage. So I got plenty of 240% crit damage builds. Those are really easy to make. If you don't know how, you could check out many of my videos, like around the Chameleon. Those are high crit builds, but I'll show you how to make those builds. But this feels just as fast, if not faster than those when it comes to time to kill. So really powerful. And so powerful that I can get the jump on enemies. It's got a lot of upfront burst damage, so they're not shooting back at me, which allows me to get a little bit of out of cover, and they're dead before they get a chance to shoot at me most of the time. So I did die a few times, mostly because I'm getting from getting shot in the back. You do not want to get shot in the back with this build because I am running the sacrifice, and you're taking amplified damage in. So you don't want to be as much of a running gunner. So okay, real quick, just in a little side note, guys, I need to make sure you know this. So we are farming the named event, the global event, Reanimated. So I'm at the White House here, as you can see. I want to make sure you guys know how to farm this and spend your stars efficiently. So this is a season, you have to have it turned on, and you do that by going to your start menu. So there's the main vendor, and right across from the main vendor is this season vendor. Okay, so they're only, I mean, it's always here, but you can only buy things when a season event like Reanimated is active, and you can see it says that right there on the left. And so when you walk up to this guy, you can click here, and these are all the things that I have available to buy. See the red stars on the right? So the red star count is at the bottom there. I have 127 red stars, and it tells you that if you don't spend these, then when the event ends, you will lose them all. Okay, so you have to spend these by Monday night. Tuesday morning, they will no longer be there. So season caches, so exotic caches, do not buy those here. Very expensive. That's like 20 levels gone. Legacy season caches are 12. Those are probably second best choice there. Optimization caches are 12, second best choice. Not bad if you want to do that. But named item caches are really efficient. They're only 8 red stars. So you can basically get unlimited Dark Zone exclusive gear by buying these named item caches. Again, 6 out of 10, I get about a return of 60% on these. So 6 out of 10 have named item caches. I mean, sorry, 6 out of 10 have DZ exclusive items. So they really do pay out. And the quality is relatively good. I would say like in the 75 percentile. So, and this is the rewards track you get with every event. They basically all look the same. But you do get 2 exotics at the end of that. It's pretty easy to complete this. You also get 2 named item caches in there as well. See that? So, and then there's a couple of season caches and a few optimization caches. I really like these mini reward tracks. They're actually pretty helpful. But I don't get to take advantage of them too often because some of the events I just really don't like. But let me clear a couple of these things out here to make a little bit of room in my stash. But Bruce says, excellent build and regenability. I love the rail splitter. This will be a great new build to try out. Yeah, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. It shreds. And it's going to open your eyes to a whole new world when it comes to accuracy and landing shots, and you'll realize how important it is. It's about that time to kill. I mean, I think that's sort of a really good measurement. I think it's better than looking at actual damage numbers. I think you got to get out there, because when you're standing in the dumb little testing range, which isn't that great of a place to test anymore, but when you're in there and you're like, oh yeah, look, my time to kill is pretty decent. Look at my DPS number there. But yeah, that target isn't moving. He's standing still, right? And so yeah, you don't have any weapon handling. And so yeah, you're able to land all your shots because he's just standing there. But you go out in the field and then you'll see why that weapon handling comes into play. Damn, you mad? Is live. I like that name, brother. Damn, you mad? The game has been doing odd things this week in the DZ. You can hear the audio and effects and other servers, like the sound of grenades on footsteps when no one is around. Ooh, sounds like a ghost in the computer, man. Sounds like you got ghosts. That sounds kind of creepy. That sounds kind of creepy. Imagine you're in the dark zone, which is already creepy on its own, right? You're kind of on edge a lot. And then you hear footsteps behind you and shit. Turn around, there's nobody there. That would be creeped out, brother. I'm staying away from the dark zone during this glitch period. I stay away from there anyways. Edward Bears, good question. Is it better to play this event on heroic or challenging? Technically challenging. To be honest with you, most farming is done better in challenging versus heroic. But I play pretty well in heroic. I clear fast, so we're talking about a couple of seconds difference for me. But I think for the average player, you know, probably dropping down to challenging if you're really looking to farm extensively, and then do as many of those like resource convoys as possible, because you can clear those out in like 30 seconds on challenging, which is really fast, and you just kind of fast travel, and find as many as possible. Oh, here's a boss. Let's see how fast we can kill him. But yeah, that's a really good question. But I like heroic because for me, I mean, I actually pump up things. Normally, I'm not doing it for this build, but in all the other builds that I shared this week, which was 3, I was running them with all directives. At least 4 directives. Some of them 5 directives, some of them 4, just depending on if I wanted pistolero or not. But look at that time to kill. That's amazing. So for me, it's all about more XP per minute. And so I'm looking, and that's also why I'm going for headshots. Headshots, kills give you more XP, and then running directives gives you more XP. And then being on heroic, of course, gives you more XP per event as well. So, but yeah, good question. For most people, I think you could go to challenging and probably do more events faster, but I'm just pretty efficient. So you don't want to run in 4-man groups and stay away from legendary. Also, the summit, because you got to run quite a few floors to get the equal amount of XP a control point gets you. I'm not sure what it is, how many exactly, but I would say at least 4 floors. And then there's also those little things like that can slow you down in the summit that waste your time. And so for me, I look for these, I look for control points that I can fast travel to really easily, you know, be a couple of blocks away at least. Or like the East Mall is my favorite because there's 3 control points in a series. Also like the Southwest, you have the Choke, and you also have No Hope Hotel. They're really close to each other, and you can fast travel to each of those without going inside a safe house. I don't like going inside safe houses because if you're running a memento, you're gonna lose your memento stacks. Do you see my health there, guys? Did you see that? How fast it came back because of that? So as long as I'm critting, watch my health. As long as I'm critting on these fools, it heals it up. You see that? Really cool. Now I'm also having armor on kill, so that's sort of like putting it on an overdrive a little bit. So remember, why clutch? Okay, and for those of you who jumped in the stream later, so clutch is basically armor on kill. But the reason why I want to run it, the downside of Bellstone armor on kill, okay, is that to really sort of make it worth a damn, you have to run armor, more armor on that, like 1 million at least, right, to sort of make it worth a damn. But with clutch, you can get 100% armor on kill as long as you're critting. Right, with Bellstone, you're only gonna get 10% armor on kill. Right, flat, it's flat. And so if you're at 0 armor, you get a kill, you're gonna get 10%, or you gotta get 10 more kills to get 100% armor on kill. With clutch, you only have to crit. 1 kill and then crit. And there's always an enemy to crit on. Oh, damn, I need to refill on ammo. Again, ammo won't be much of an issue for you guys if you don't have the event, but there's more enemies in these events because they reanimate, if you notice that. So let's keep that in mind. But yeah, so that's why, and then also you need less gear spaces. So if you run Bellstone, you need 2 pieces in order to get that 10% armor and kill, right? Because it's the second brand attribute that gives you that. But with clutch, it's just 1 talent slot. So that you're basically more efficient. You're basically getting more. It's actually more efficient armor and kill. And then if you read closely, you get it's stronger. Clutch is stronger the more weapon damage. This guy's gonna be a pain in the ass, I can already tell. The more weapon damage cores that you run, the stronger your armor on kill is gonna be on clutch. So it's actually telling you right there in the talent, go all in red, buddy. And I will heal you as long as you're critting. So yeah, you have to have max crits, and it does better with higher RPM weapons. So anyways, clutch is really good. And the people that don't like it is usually because they don't understand it, or they're not synergizing around it. So they'll throw it on a slow, you know, like a shotgun. Not good with the shotgun. Do not run a shotgun with clutch. Unless it's some rapid fire like the rock and roll, but even then I don't think that's fast enough. I've run clutch with like the backfire. I didn't feel good at all, and that's because the backfire's RPM is on the edge, and it's sort of on the lower. It's on the edge of being too low. It's like what, 800 RPM is on the backfire or something like that. So it just didn't feel that good. I think you know the sweet spot is 900 RPM or higher. So things like the Vector, or you know I'm running the Sitar with Striker, so it's got over 1,000 RPM. So feels really good. You can heal yourself in no time. Just crit. That's all you gotta do is crit. So see that 100% healed right there. Zerther, you got the expansion. Good. You're grinding with friends. Leveling up is relatively fast. Cool. Yeah, join the Discord if you haven't, man. I hope you do. Doesn't cost anything or whatever. Just link up with some good people. Get through raids. Talk builds. and whatnot. So, Black John Wick, question. Thank you for leading it with question. That really helps me out. Have you ever thought about doing a Diamondback build? Nice challenge. Yeah, you know, the Diamondback's been around for basically forever, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, I want to use you. You know, it's sort of clunky, right? Everybody knows that. The downside about the Diamondback is that it randomly selects a target. So you might have an enemy shooting at you right in front of you. And the idea behind the Diamondback is to not add in crits because it guarantees you a crit chance, right? On whoever that marked target is. But if it marks a target that's like 20 feet away, this grenader, Jesus Christ. But if it marks a target that's like 10 feet away, 20 feet away, but you have an enemy standing right in front of you who's shooting at you and you need to get rid of him, you're not going to have the crit power to do it all of a sudden, right? And so it's clunky because it randomly selects a target. And, you know, when you're in a pinch and a bind and you need to get yourself out of it, you might not have the power to do that. And so we're talking about reliability ultimately, and that's what it lacks by doing that. So it's almost, I don't know. I guess if you're a more laid back player, I think that it's a good weapon. Like if you're kind of not in the front, so it's sort of a group player weapon. I think it's better in group because somebody else is taking aggro, and so you can sit in the back and just kind of pick off whoever the game decides that it wants you to be able to pick off. But I do like the idea of it. I love the rifle. I love it. So the Diamondback is the exotic version of the 1886, and I love my Virginian build. So the idea of it, I love. So yeah, give me some time, Black John Wick. I'll pick it up and see how I feel about it. But I do that with all the exotics from time to time. Like I pick up the Merciless, and boy, am I disappointed when I do. I got weapons all around crap. I mean, I can max out my weapon damage on that thing and stack those explosives, and I can't even take out an elite. That's sort of disappointing. Chef's Kiss is what Zerther calls this event. Yeah, I like it. Good name. Brain slushies. We're making brain slushies. Gripball, what build name uses system corruption? Let's see. Have I put out one lately that uses system corruption? I know in the past, but I'm having a hard time remembering what used it. I do have a new, actually the classified build that's coming out this week is going to use system corruption in it. So look forward to that, members. Again, you have to be at least a true Bandido member level to get access to the secret build. So if you're not that, you look to upgrade if you can. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, classified builds are secret builds made just for Texas Players Club. You have to be a true or hardcore Bandido member level to get access to these. These are extra builds I make as a thank you for supporting my channel. And you can get access to these by hitting that join button below the video. But yeah, so this week, while we're talking about it, we got a couple of builds coming out. So I'm going to declassify a build for the general community on, I believe, Tuesday. So, but first off, on Monday, I'm going to open up 20 named item caches for you. So tomorrow I'm going to do that. I'll probably do it in a live stream video. So look forward to that. And I'll probably be doing it sort of in the morning hours. I'm on the West Coast of the US, North America, West Coast time. So I'll probably be doing it my AM. So I know we get good traffic around those times, so many of you will probably be able to make that. So I'll open 20 named item caches, and we'll see what we get. And that's why we're playing this event. We're farming the hell out of those, and I almost have all the stars that I need to do that. So I'll buy all those named item caches, open them for you, and then I will let you know what kind of return we get when it comes to Darkstone exclusives and quality. And that's what I've been tracking. I have several videos that do this, because we're keeping an eye on those things, because it takes a lot of effort and time, a lot of your precious time to farm these events, and I want to make sure you guys are getting really good results. So it is helpful to tune into these types of videos where I'm opening 20 exotic caches or 20 named item caches at a time, so that you can see that, yeah, okay, I do want to spend my time, completing legendary missions, weekly challenges that give me an exotic cache, because the quality tends to be there or I do want to do these events and farm native item caches because I do get Dark Zone exclusives that I wouldn't otherwise get because I don't like going into the Dark Zone, right? So I want you to have those answers, and so that's why I do those, right? It's not just for the vanity of opening named item caches for the sake of opening them. So I hope that helps. Edward Burris, system corruption is best used in the Dark Zone. I agree with that, Edward. That's exactly right. So I do get actually regular requests to create system corruption builds, but they're sort of one-trick ponies. It's sort of running 4-piece system corruption. There's only really a couple of ways to run it that sort of makes sense because its strength is based off of bonus armor and invisibility, so to speak. And so, like, you know, anti-disruption, not being able to be pulsed, but also its damage comes from bonus armor. It's sort of like a version of an Intimidated Adrenaline Rush combo. And so, you know, when you go outside of that, if you try to go too off meta with it, it's just sort of just breaks it and doesn't work. Breaks it in a bad way. Just shredding these guys. This build is amazing. I really, really, really do hope you give this build a try. It's just, these guys don't even have a chance. At whatever range, I mean, they can run all they want. I'm gonna tag them and cut them down. Keep running, fool. So, but yeah, so it's just a really one-trick pony. But the 2-piece system corruption, now I can get creative with that. And so I used 2 pieces system corruption all at once. That was a crit at 600,000 almost, right there, guys. So 600,000 at 1,030 RPMs, and you're actually landing your shots. So think about that. So at range from the body, that was about 400 and some. That was 787 crit on the head, I think is what I saw there. Let's see, what do we see here? It goes so fast, right? 900,000 crit on the head at distance. So keep in mind the event does buff this a little bit. So I'm not standing in the cloud, but there's still some sort of passive bust, even though I'm not standing in the green brain slushy. But the brain slushy, the green stuff actually buffs you a lot. But I'm not usually standing in that. But there's, even without that, I'm still getting some sort of random headshot bonus. So, but yeah, you see that? So I'm running perfect glass cannon, and I can still stand in front of somebody and DPS him down, face tank him basically, right? I face tanked that guy and won, and that's because my time to kill is really fast. So time to kill is survivability too. Remember that. I'm a survivability guy. I love high survivability in my builds. I hate running builds with poor survivability, and time to kill is amazing survivability. Remember that. It's not all about armor and armor regen. It's also about time to kill. That is the third component. There's 3 components to survivability, guys. So let me just list them out for you in case you don't know. So 1 is having the self-sufficiency in regeneration, right? Whether it's armor on kill, armor regen. It's not about how much armor you have. I say it's about how fast you come back, how fast you regenerate, how fast you're back in the fight at your full potential. Okay, so that's, I mean, just mowing these guys down. I mean, this feels like I'm playing on normal story mode, by the way. And they're coming back, of course, because this is reanimated. So that's the first component, right? The first component is making sure your self-sufficiency on your heals. Again, it's not about how much armor. It's about how fast you recover. The second part is time to kill. So if this enemy is flanking you, or legendary, right? When those, like a start of District Union Arena, great example. That's where I test my builds, because those are where builds go to die. Those 3 tanks in the beginning, if you don't have they're a DPS check. If you don't have the DPS, then they're gonna flank you and they're gonna kill you. But if you have the DPS, if you put enough damage to them in a short amount of time, they will back off. Even if you don't destroy them. So as long as you have enough DPS to get them to back off, that's all you need. It's a DPS check. That's time to kill, basically. And so face tanking, when somebody steps up on you, or when they surprise attack you from behind, or they flank you, or whatever, that can you stand up and kill them before they kill you? That's the time to kill that you need, right? That's what we're trying to achieve ultimately. There's some enemies that just require ridiculous amounts of time to kill. Fast-paced kills like named bosses, you know, certain chungas and whatever, but either way, in general, it applies. The third thing is situational awareness. Like right there, I knew that there was a couple of guys behind me, so I knew he was there, but I held my ground for too long. I should have ducked out sooner, but situational awareness is part of it, right? So is this guy gonna get me up or not? He's not gonna get me up. That's gonna be annoying. But know who's around you, where they are. That's what keeps you alive. Situational awareness is also part about having good moves. I say that a lot in my videos, and I'm sure you've heard me say that, but you gotta have the dance moves to go along with it, right? That's part of situational awareness. Know the spawn points, know where they spawn, know the enemy archetypes, who's tankier, who's easier to kill, right? Like the Widowmaker, very difficult to kill. She's not running a lot of armor. She runs at you and then walks really slow, but for some reason you miss a lot of your shots on her. Just wipe that boss off the planet. So know your enemy archetypes, know your spawn points, understand your skills, cooldown timing. It's not good to have your skills on cooldown when you get a new spawn, for example. These types of things. That's situational awareness. And having really good situational awareness also makes you a good team player. So if you're looking to do things like the raids, you don't have to have experience with the raids. You have to have good situational awareness. That's what's going to make you a good team player for raids. All right, guys. So even if you don't know crap about raids, if you have good situational awareness, if you're paying attention, you're going to learn the nuances of those raids. You're going to learn the mechanics of these raids really fast. I mean, if you have good situational awareness, people shouldn't even have to explain things to you. You should just be able to run through it once and kind of pick up on, what your job is going to be, which is probably stand at this door, shoot anybody that comes out of it, right? But even if that's your job and it's relatively simple, having good situational awareness means you're paying attention to what else is going around you. So that way, when you have a different job next time you're doing a raid, you have a good base understanding of what's going on over there too. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Porky Boy, welcome back. Good to see you back. I see you're leveling up in Texas Players Club with that nice black skull. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. Brian, 88 keys. Bring in the keys. Been using Slaughter, Solo Ledger, and build. Absolutely love it. Hands down. Good for you, Brian. First of all, that's not easy to build. You got to have, basically, if you guys don't know, Slaughter is one of my favorite legendary hybrid builds. It's probably the favorite, so you guys know. It's got a balance of everything. It's got 5% armor regen, 20% armor on kill, 6 skill tiers, 2 ballistic turrets running the capacitor, 2 ballistic skills running the capacitor. Runs on 1.1 million armor, uses the memento, and allows you to get out of cover in solo legendary and do it really fast. One of my favorite builds, but it basically takes all the best pieces for survivability and damage in the game and hacks them into a skill build and combines them together. And it's only possible if you do events like this, because it uses things like the death grips and the Emperor's Guard knee pads, and it turns those into skill pieces with like skill damage and a skill tier if they don't already have it, like the death grips. And then I hacked Bellstone with skill tiers and so on and so forth. So really good build, guys. Good job, man. I'm glad you put that together. It is one of my favorites. I think second from there is probably Game Over, and then third is the Perfect Blend, and it's a close tie between second and third, by the way. So Perfect Blend is the build we were talking about earlier, where I hacked 4-pieces striker. But here's another quick look at this build, guys. So again, the Devil's Due backpack. This is a Dark Zone exclusive. You can get it by farming named item caches, and it's got perfect clutch, which I really love. It's all about the second half of the talent that is basically armor on kill. So it even tells you right there that it does a better job the more weapon damage cores you have. So you can get 100% armor on kill without having any armor, and that's really valuable. Whereas standard armor on kill requires you have armor for it to be worth the damn, and you only get 10% armor on kill, which means you got to kill 10 enemies to get all the way back up. So yeah, love this talent, So look at that, just healed up. You see that all the way to 100%. Now I am standing in the green juice, that is healing me a little bit, but those heals came, the reason why you saw it go up so fast is because I was critting on that dog. So the bigger the target, the easier it is to crit, because that means I'm missing less shots. And that was a really good demonstration of how badass clutch is. So, and then I got 10% armor on kill. So when I get 10% armor on kill, when I get the kill, I'm also getting a little bit of a sort of like an overdrive to that clutch. So it is good to run with Gunner. That's where that armor on kill is coming from, is Gunner. But if you're looking for those like 100% armor on kill builds, you can get 100% armor on kill using clutch, in addition to standard armor on kill. So if you run like 2-piece system corruption, 1-piece death grips, gloves, and 2 pieces of bellstone, gunner, and then you can also run like the mop with preservation, and then put clutch on top of that. Yeah, forget about it. Clutch doesn't work good with shotgun, so you know you might be better off using Emmeline's guard, which is perfect preservation. But yeah, that's a really good build. Rogue Agent 007, appreciate you, man. No, I'm on the Xbox. Yep, I'm an Xbox player. But yeah, that's the point of this build, Rogue Agent, is that I got 95 to 105% weapon accuracy on this build, and the time to kill is insane. And so basically I'm shoving amp damage. I'm running 3-piece striker on this, so I'm shoving a lot of amp damage on 1035 RPM. I'm using the CTAR, so I'm able to make a lot of damage at range too. So yeah, just deleting fools. But it looks like I'm a PC player because I'm landing a lot of shots, and of course PC players have really good accuracy because they're playing on laser pointer mouses, right? But no, that's the weapon handling on this build, the 95% accuracy, and a lot of the 50% of that is thanks to the named assault rifle called the Rail Splitter, which is what I'm running. There's so many fools around here, I don't know which direction I'm getting shot from, but I gotta move. I'm gonna have to move here in a second. I'm getting stuck from all directions. Edward, I love the tank skill build with no shield working on part 2. Oh, you're talking about Game Over. Yes, Game Over. It's a beautiful build. Part 2, I do like part 2 better than part 1, believe it or not. And that's because it brings more power to my weapon, and also more time out of cover on build 1 thanks to the chest piece. But for those of you that don't do raids, I also created a version 2 that has an amazing, even more time to kill than the other 2 variations. So give them both a try, actually. Either one of those could end up being your favorite. And just so you know, I name my build so that we can have discussions like this easily. So Game Over, when I say Game Over, you guys all know what I'm talking about. Game Over build, that's a 4-piece legendary hybrid skill build that I hacked, right? So instead of having to go through each piece and be like, remember that one build where I created that had the 4 pieces and 2 pieces and 6 pieces and blah? I can just say Game Over and we're on the same page. So that's why I named my build, so you know. It's not all gimmick. It's so that we can have a conversation, an efficient conversation about these things. So. Zerther has a question for us. Tux, quick question. Tips on headshot builds. Do you need to balance that with crit hit chance or crit hit damage, or just go all in? It does depend. Okay, so if it's a headhunter build, headhunter the talent, I mean, then you need to have, what is that, at least 150% headshot damage at a minimum. But more importantly, if it's a sniper headhunter build, which they usually are, you know, sniper builds are 1 bullet, 1 kill. So you only look at it this way. You only have 1 shot, okay? When it comes to crits, crits aren't based off of a mag, okay? Crits are based off of the bullet, the round. So each bullet, let me pause to explain this real quick. So each bullet has a 60% chance to crit. All right, does that make sense? So each bullet has a 60% chance to crit. So not the mag. So that doesn't mean like if you have 10 rounds in the mag, it doesn't mean 6 bullets are gonna crit. I got my Santa mask on, I hope you like that. That's not what it means. Because each bullet has a 60% chance to crit, it is possible that a 10-round mag can crit. All 10 rounds can crit. So you could have 100% of those rounds critting. That's if you're like super lucky. But on average, that's not going to be the case. On average, you will end up with 6 of your rounds critting when you have max crit chance. Okay, does that make sense? So, but for headshot builds, with each bullet having a 60% chance of critting, assuming you have max crits, then you only have, the way I look at it is you only have 1 shot to get that kill. 1 shot, 1 kill is your goal. You only have 1 chance to do that. So if you're running crit chance, if you're relying on crit chance to put out your damage, then only 60% of the time are you going to achieve max damage. Let's just flip that stat on its head, okay? If you rely on crit chance for a headhunter build or a sniper build, then 40% of the time, you're gonna be dishing out your lowest possible damage, 40% of the time. You don't want that with the sniper build. One shot, one kill, you need your highest damage output 100% of the time. So the answer to your question is, for headhunter builds, go all in on headshot damage. All right? So, and that's really because you're going for those headshots, right? You're stacking all that headshot. So that's really specific to headhunter builds. Now, if you're building another build like a perfect focus build, or maybe the perfect sacrifice, where you're using glass cannon or whatever, right? Then, yeah, no, then you can go into crit chance and crit damage or whatever. But no, if you're going just for headshots and you're running a headhunter, then yeah, no, I wouldn't want to rely on crits, because that means 40% of the time you're gonna be at your lowest damage output. Yeah, I hope that logic makes sense to you. Some people might look at it differently, okay, but that's how I look at it. So, Tango Wrangler, appreciate you, man. Also appreciate you yesterday in the chat feed. I was noticing, I didn't catch it till later, but you pumping up the chat, man. I appreciate that, reminding people to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And comment down below. You can't comment right now because we are live, but hit the like, subscribe if you haven't. That really helps the channel. That helps me help you, because I have a lot more where this came from. Okay, yeah, thanks, Zerther. Glad that you received what I put down. Mr. Man, multiplicative damage, baby. Yeah, you get it. And that's right. And headshots are multiplicative damage. So you guys know. They weren't before, I think before TU8. I think they were not. I think there was just additive damage. And then they made this, I think it was a silent buff to headshot damage. I don't think they really announced it, but I think it turned into multiplicative damage, and somebody had to test it to figure that out. So keep that in mind. We are running to the end of this stream, so I do want to make sure I got all my directives on, so I'm not gonna be able to shoot my gun in here, but I give one more shot at looking at this build. So again, the CTAR, the name CTAR is a rail splitter. This is a Dark Zone exclusive. If you don't have this, again, buy those named item caches. That's the point. That's why I'm showcasing this, because it is worth it. I love it. All my homies have it and they love it. Guys in my clan. So again, it's giving us 50% accuracy, and then I put on 2 accuracy mods. So we have 70% accuracy just out of the assault rifle, and then I got a crit chance mod here, and then I'm running an extra 20 rounds, so we got 50 rounds. But look at that RPM. So the base RPM on this thing is 900. And so because we're running 3-piece striker, we get that boost in RPM. The damage is about average. Higher RPM, assault rifles. The higher the RPM, the lower your damage, if that makes sense. But we're not worried about that because we shove so many bullets down the enemy's faces. We're okay. The stability is really good on this weapon, so you don't need to roll any stability. So don't do extra stability on there. You're gonna be fine. There's no kick on this bad boy. So we got high stability on this anyways, just because we got good handling already on the build. And then our reload time's at 1.8 seconds, which is really fast. For builds where you want to play out of cover, you want your reload time less than 2 seconds. Okay, so that should be your goal. So this is fast because I think it's normally at 2 seconds, and then Striker's is buffing it down a little bit. Okay, so we're running 3-piece Striker. They all look the same. Basically, crit chance, crit damage, weapon damage. So this is giving us 15% weapon handling and that rate of fire. That's why I'm after it. I'm after both of those things. All right. And so the gloves basically look the same, except we got crit damage. I'm sorry, those are knee pads. And then the holster basically the same with crit damage. All right. And I chose to run a Coyote's mask because I wanted to be able to run less crit chance on my build. So most of the time we're running between 0 and 25 meters. This thing can basically snipe though. The accuracy is so well. Does so well. But so when we're at 15 to 25 meters, which we are a lot, that's probably where we spend most of our time, it's going to give us 10% more crit chance and 10% more crit damage. Okay, so when we look at the stats, realize that we are maxed out on crit chance most of the time, but when we're not, we're getting such a boost in crit hit damage. So when enemies pull in on us, we get that 25% crit hit damage boost that it's going to make up for the difference we lose in crit chance. It's going to sort of level out. So we're all running the perfect glass cannon. You don't have to do this, but I like it. You'll do really well with obliterate also, okay, or the non-perfect version of this if you choose. I really wouldn't recommend anything else. I think those would be the two other alternate directions I would go with this build. You don't need brace. Don't run braced on this. Don't run any more weapon handling. I started with more weapon handling. Here's a good note. I started with more weapon handling. Do not add more weapon handling to this build. Do not add more weapon handling. I started with more and I pulled it back because it was diminished. I was getting diminishing returns, meaning I wasn't feeling the impact of that extra weapon handling. You guys get me there? Does that make sense? Don't add more weapon handling. Do not run braced with this build. You will not get the returns on it. What I mean is that your eye-hand coordination in relation to the video controller and what you're looking at on your screen, you'll not be able to tell the difference between what we have here, which is basically 105% weapon accuracy, and what more weapon handling would give you, okay? I mean, even adding more isn't even gonna take much off of your reload time, and maybe it'll be lucky if you get off of 0.1 second. So keep that in mind. So glass cannon really works here because it's giving us a big chunk of burst damage. Is basically it allows us to shoot enemies and keep them from shooting back on us because it staggers them and then kills them before they can recover. Actually, there were many times I was killing enemies twice, thanks to the event. So I would be killing them like with a chest shot, and then I'd lift my gun up and then blow up their heads as they were on their way to the ground. That's how fast this thing kills. I kill them twice. I don't know if you caught that in the stream. So the other thing that we're showcasing is the Devil's Due backpack. Again, this is a named item that you can only get from the Dark Zone, but you can also get this by farming these named item caches. And it's a really good backpack. You need at least one of these. If you do, it normally comes with a weapon damage core, so you know I rolled armor on it because I wanted at least one armor core here on this build, just to level it out. But crit chance, crit damage, maxed out there. And then clutch. So it helps you from going all the way down as long as you're critting. If you drop below 20% armor, it'll refill you back to 20% armor. So that's happening a lot, but I wasn't really focused on that. But it does help you from completely going down in many cases. But just so you know, perfect glass cannon sort of offsets that a little bit. So because I'm taking incoming burst damage, amplified incoming damage. So that sort of negates the first part of perfect clutch sometimes. So with this build, you can't take a lot of burst damage, so don't try. What I mean is like a grenade to the face. You don't want one of those. But the second part of clutch is really, really, really awesome. And a lot of people don't know about it. And a lot of people don't take advantage of it. Let me see if I can get it to work in here. Actually, I've never tested it in the testing range. So let me turn off my directives real quick and see if I can get it to work so I can demonstrate this. But I have these directives on, so it's not letting me pick up ammo. So let me reset my control points for a minute. Okay. So give me a quick second. I don't know if it's gonna work in here, because some things don't work in this stupid testing range. A lot of things don't. So, but let's give it a shot. But it's a really good talent. It's just flat out armor and kill, guys. There's no other way to describe it. It just happens on crit. And so if you've used this and you were disappointed by it, it's probably because you didn't have it synergized correctly. What I mean by that is, like, if you're running a weapon with a lower RPM, or if you're missing a lot of your shots, then it's not going to work for you. If you don't have max crits, it's not going to work for you. So you got to have all those things going for you, okay? So if you want clutch to work, you need to be running max crits. You need to have good accuracy. You need to actually land those crits, right? If you're missing your shots, you're not healing, basically. And then on top of that, what am I missing? What's the other one I was missing? High RPMs. So the faster you're critting, right, then the faster you're healing. So let's damage ourselves. Okay, cool. So that's basically all the way. So I'm not sure if how this is gonna work, but let's take a look. So critting gets us basically back up to 20% armor. And I'm not sure if it's detecting the kill. It's not. So let me kill somebody over here. Did I get the kill icon? Yeah, I did. Okay. And now watch me crit. Watch me heal. You watching that? I got no heals, guys. No armor regen on this build. All right, and then it timed out. So I got myself to 80%. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me show you again, because I just figured out how to work it in here, because there's a little detail. So I have this on invulnerable so he doesn't die, right? So let's kill somebody over here. Let me reload. And just so you know, there's no cooldown on this talent, so you can refresh it. That makes sense? So let me actually now that I think about it, let me damage myself and then go to this other field over here. This is a really good talent. I really like this, guys. Let me change this to hard. Is there very hard? I think there is, right? Yeah. Okay. So I got no armor. So basically what we're looking to do is we're gonna get a kill, and then every crit after that is gonna heal us. So as long as we're critting, we're gonna heal. So we just need that first kill. Okay, so we got all that. Look at that, heals already happening as long as we're kidding. And that's also why you want a fast reload, because there you go. But notice it refreshes, infinite refresh. You see that? I'm still going. Look at that little, do you see the little circle? Every time I get a kill, it refreshes. You see that? It refreshes. So I have infinite armor on kill. Infinite armor on kill, as long as you see that? It refreshes. There's no cooldown on that, I guess is my point. There's no cooldown on that talent. That's what I want to express with that. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Can I get some opinions in the feed? What do you think about this talent now that you've seen that demonstration and you saw with this build? But before today, again, just keep in mind if you've tried it in the past, there was a time where the devs didn't have this. Actually, let me reset over here. There was a glitch. It was glitching and it wasn't working as intended, and that was a ways back. But I think a lot of people sort of abandoned this because of that. But oops, I didn't mean to put my skills. Let me bust that. I want to damage myself all the way. So keep that in mind. But let's take a quick look at the talent again. Notice it says here that kills allow you to repair your armor to 100%. So this is 100% armor on kill as long as you're critting. It doesn't say the crit part in there, but that's it for 4 to 10 seconds. The reality is that you got to crit hits repair armor. So each crit is 2.5% armor. You get that? You got to read back up into the first part of this skill. Okay, and so the more weapon damage cores that you have, the better. So now let's kill some fools and put it to work. So even before we get a kill, we heal thanks to the first part of the talent, and then from there, as long as we're critting, we're getting heals. Now I do have 10% armor on kill on top of that, so because of Gunner, so that's every time I get a kill, it's perking it up. But look at it like a little overdrive for your thing. But the cool part is that it refreshes on kills, so you can basically always be healing as long as you're critting. And so with this build, you always want to be shooting, which is also why you want Gunner, because it's going to give you ammo regeneration. But why am I running this? There was a point that I made earlier. So this is giving me 100% armor on kill. If I wanted more armor on kill, how would I have to do it? Well, there's Bellstone, right? So I could run Bellstone, and then I'd have, in order to make use of this, I would have to run, I'm just gonna pick another random Bellstone if I have it, but there. So I'd have to use 2 slots in order to get only 10% armor on kill, and I'd also get 1% armor regen, which is a little helpful. But just for 10% armor on kill, I'd have to use 2 slots, and then I'd have to roll on more armor to make it worth a damn, right? Because it's a percentage of your armor, 10% of your armor on kill. So in order to make it worth a damn, I have to roll more armor. But either way, it's gonna require 10 kills in order to get full all the way. Where clutch is just a factor of time. As long as I'm critting, as long as I'm shooting, I'm healing. I don't need a kill, I only need the first kill. And then from there, as long as I'm critting. But with this, it says if you want to get back to 100% armor, you need 10 kills. Now, I am running Gunner, so the reality is it's only 5 kills because I have 20% armor and kill, plus a little bit of armor and regen. So probably in the end, it's probably 4 kills to 100%. It's probably the reality of it. My point is though, is that it's less efficient on the build to run 2 pieces of Bellstone than it is to just run 1 perfect clutch and not run this. And now I have more space to put on more damage. So now I can run more damage on my build. And I chose to run 3 pieces Striker for the RPMs, which is basically a higher DPS. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope, you know, Tux thoughts. You know, that's sort of the way I think, right? So I look for efficiencies in the builds, efficiencies and synergies. I know a lot of you guys know how to do that too. So, but I hope I'm dropping some knowledge on you that's really helpful to make your builds more efficient, so that, you know, the point is that you know, it's not always about crits, right? And maximizing crit damage. Just build. Look at this build, guys. 139%. We got the Coyotes mask, but basically between 140 and 165% crit damage, and we're at max crit chance basically most of the time. So, and this thing has got a fast time to kill. You saw it. You know, crits don't lie, or time to kill don't lie. But you don't have to have 200% crit damage. Actually, as a matter of fact, this is probably about equivalent to a 240% crit damage build when it comes to time to kill. It's just standard crit damage build. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody asked me, do you like this or do you like a, you know, an M1A, you know, with Contractor's Gloves and Fox's Prayer, I would choose this build, actually. I love the way it handles. I'm landing more of my shots. I think it's more accurate. I mean, that time to kill is just absolutely insane. That's insane, guys. I mean, you're landing a lot more of your shots. I mean, it's just a laser. I mean, does it not look like a laser? But that is a laser beam, right? That's a laser beam. And I can make it stronger. I mean, if I got rid of clutch and put on concussion, that's probably what I would do. Another 25% weapon damage on the backpack. I mean, that definitely push this up. I think I have that. Let's see if I have that version. Well, vigilance is basically the same thing. So let's do that. Let's show you the difference. So if you're a damage hoarder, you want that. Let me just do a quick demonstration. I don't want to drag this video out too long, so, but I want to show you what it can do. If you prefer not to use clutch, then yes, there's a 732, 80 something, 809 I think is the same. .732 is pretty consistent, but I definitely saw 809 in there. Isn't that funny? There's like that's why I don't like the testing range. There's actually a sweet spot in this head, even though I'm landing all headshots. If there's like a dead eye that'll give you more crits. I've noticed that a lot in these builds. Testing range. Anyways, I don't want to go too long. Let's just call it 732, but I thought I saw an 809 in there. But either way, happy with that. Can you complain about that? That'll kill anybody. You gotta remember DPS is a factor of time, right? Damage over time. So 732 at 1034 RPM is not to be complained about. Let's see what you guys say in the feed, and then we will call it a night. Evening Tux, what's up, AG? Build slaps. Oh yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, you noticed. Brass Bat, howdy neighbor. I sent a reminder of the stream around 3 p.m., but I fell asleep. Hey, just tuning in. Great build. Well, I hope you can watch the sudden replay. If you guys don't know, I do have a channel, a playlist on my channel with all of the live streams, so that when you need to replay these to catch up on what we're dishing out, then you can do that pretty easy, finding them all in one place. Zertha says, so far, Clutch is my fave. You know, so if you guys remember, Clutch back in the day used to be OP. It used to be the build. It was the vampire build. And basically, used to work off of health as long as you were critting. You were surviving, so you could face tank anybody as long as you had a high RPM type SMG, and you would just crit and you would survive. You would actually run no armor and spec on the health. That was a long time ago. but clutch used to be the build to run. I ran it with the chatterbox, actually. I really liked it with that. Excuse me. Rick29 says, just put your build together with the exception of perfect clutch. Wow, you're fast. Use an all red Fenris clutch pack and use the Carbine 7 and blew through American History Museum. Oh, nice. Yeah. Carbine 7 is pretty reliable. I think it's also got good handling. Try it with the CTAR though. The idea here is to get the handling up even higher. But I know everybody's got their favorite assault rifles, but the CTAR feels really good. I also am in love with the Police M4. The Police M4 and the CTAR, or I go back and forth on which one I love better. But when I use the rail splitter, it sort of like calls it for me. So you know. Steve Larson says, this is freaking cool, great demo of that. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got to see it firsthand. Oh, I should change the backpack back so this doesn't confuse people later. But yeah, I'm glad you got to see it firsthand on how clutch works, because people underestimate it, and I think it's because they don't realize that it's armor on kill. There's just nothing to it. But and that's a clear demonstration. Just remember to synergize around it, right? You got to synergize around your builds. You got to. This one wants crits, and then if you think about it logically, it doesn't tell you that it wants a higher RPM, but the faster you're critting, the faster you're healing. Does that make sense? Right? And the really cool part is that it refreshes. So, you know, there's no cooldown like Future Perfect or something like that. That you can constantly keep this thing refreshed and constantly keep healing yourself. And all you got to do is be shooting to do that. So that's basically shoot to heal. And just remember, the more weapon damage you have, the red cores, the stronger this talent is going to work in your favor. And which is a good thing, because it's basically making your build more efficient for damage, because you don't have to run as much armor with this build. And it's got so much burst damage, it's going to stagger enemies. It's going to push them back. It's going to make it harder for them to flank you, or to outgun you, or to overrun you. So the only times I really died with this build was because I was out of cover and being shot in the back, and I am running perfect glass cannon, and that's, you know, doesn't take much to bring you down when you're doing that. But other than that, this build holds up really well. I'd recommend it to anybody. So Ron says, love the talent. What's up, Ron? You're part of the Players Club. Appreciate you, man. Your channel is awesome. Thanks. How would the backfire be with the build? Oh, good. Really good question, actually. I tried this with the backfire. I didn't mention that earlier in the stream. I tried this with the backfire. I did not like it. The backfire is on the verge of being too low for of RPM for this to be impactful. I don't have the backfire in here, unfortunately. In my stash, it's on my. I think I just moved it to my other character. I got 3 characters, but. So like you want to have, I don't think you want to have less than 800 RPM. So the Vector, the Dark Winter, again, I'm running Striker, so all of these are boosted right now. But yeah, I think the SIG MPX is like, isn't it normally at 800, 850, something like that? So it's being boosted right now because I'm running Striker, but the RPM is too low. Like I wouldn't use it for the M1928 just because it's too slow. So you wouldn't be maximizing clutch. Might as well just, you know, put on something different. But things like the Dark Winter would work really well because the RPMs are really high. But you also want things with accuracy. So here's another rail splitter I got, not as good. But you want weapons with good accuracy. So the Police M4 does really well. Look at the stability on the Police M4, it's really nice. So this would be a really good weapon to run with it too. So if you don't like the CTAR, if you don't have the rail splitter, use a CTAR. If you don't like the CTAR, use the Police M4. For assault rifles, and then for SMGs, probably Dark Winter would be my choice. Anything over 900 RPM is probably no lower than 800 RPM, but even 800 RPM is feeling a little bit on the low side. So me personally, I didn't like it. So, but you might like it. That doesn't mean it was bad. I just didn't like it. The faster, the better. If that makes sense. Ultra Mega Man. Oh yeah, let me restart the stream, brother. Damn Australians. Everything's upside down. You know, in Australia, if you're watching this stream, the picture of my face is actually upside down. I don't know if you guys knew that. So Ultra Mega Man is actually, he sees my head upside down. and the toilet water flushes this way, which is really weird. Blows my mind. Boom, boom. So anyways, that's all I have for today, guys. So sorry if you guys are just joining in late. You're gonna have to watch, rewind this bad boy. A lot of good stuff in here. A really solid build. So if you guys do recommend you watch it, and I hope you love my new outfit. Look at that. I am Santa Claus. Ho ho ho, bitches. Ho ho ho. Get him to actually look at me though. He's gonna make me go into picture mode. Yeah. I like this mask. This was part of a holiday apparel event. Oh, before I go, I do want to mention we are getting a new holiday apparel event in December. It will be a new one. It won't be recycled. So we're probably going to get a new mask. I really like this mask. It's got really cool details on it. It does say ho, ho, ho somewhere on this thing. Yeah, see that where it says ho on the mask? But it's a really cool mask. It's basically somebody scratched in the Santa face on it. But I like this mask, man. I almost want to wear it all year round. But yeah, so I'll be sporting this for the holiday season, as well as maybe my elf hat, but got my lumberjack. Yeah, so I got the lumberjack stuff going on. I also like that this is actually the Backfire backpack, how it looks. This is how it comes, and it's got that little lumberjack. It's got that hatchet right there on it too. It's perfect for the holidays and this little outfit I got going on. But anyways, yeah, so new apparel event, and we're also gonna get a new season starting in December as well, and they're going to stitch together this season based on our favorite events and see if they get that right. Hopefully they stick in more reanimations because we love that. But yeah, so look forward to that, guys. Otherwise, I will be doing a stream tomorrow. Let me just quickly exit with that. I'll be doing a stream tomorrow, opening up these named item caches, and then on Tuesday I will be dropping a new declassified build for the community, and then I will be doing some more live streams and doing a classified build for Texas Players Club on Thursday. Most likely it's possible that could be Friday, and then doing another major stream for the community on Saturday, and a members only stream on Thursday. So if you're not part of Texas Players Club, please consider joining by hitting that join button below. You get access to those classified builds and members only streams, but also you'll be supporting me, and I really appreciate that because I also pump back into the community. And if you're not subscribed and haven't hit like, do that right now, and I will see you guys on the flip, on the backside tomorrow.